This is AFO Radio. Good morning. My name is Jeremy. Oh, it's morning? No, it's afternoon. Can you tell I just woke up? Anyways, I hope you're having a phenomenal start to the Friday and amazing weekend plans because last night at midnight, Malaysian timing, Baldur's Gate 3 left early access is an officially launched game, and I gotta say, I am excited. I managed to download it. I bought the game, of course. I played it a little bit, and what I wanted to start off with like maybe an hour session very quickly turned into a 4-hour session, which explains why I need like 3 cups of coffee today. But overall, the game so far, in the 3 or 4 hours I've gotten into it, is a really great game. The character creation was really fun, and the game plays really well. Exploration, multiple options, doing secrets, and if you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I think you'd be really amazed at how basically they managed to implement stuff like perception checks and arcana checks as part of your everyday exploration within a video game context. So far, I have to say the game's really polished, it's really good, but truth being said, it's only been 4 hours. I'll dig into it, bite deep over the weekend, and I'll come back next week with more insight, especially if you're a fan of this game. I've been waiting for this game for like 3 years now, so I'm super, super excited to really play it. Anyways, if you're looking for a game to play, Baldur's Gate 3 is the way to go. It's the most played game concurrently on Steam right now, and that's saying a lot.
Listen to us live.
I love it.
AFO Radio.
And the big bit of news in terms of like having a great boss is Taylor Swift reportedly gave $55 million in bonuses to people working on her Eras tour. That's right. I mean, she's on track. Oh, I think she might have actually already broken the record for being the $1 billion tour. That's a lot of money. $1 billion is nothing to shake a stick at. And Taylor Swift is being very generous. She's sharing the love. In fact, some of the people who are benefiting from the bonuses are truck drivers that haul equipment from city to city, and they got, apparently, $100,000 in bonuses. Now, this is a sum of money that is life-changing because a lot of truck drivers are not homeowners, and a lump sum like this gives you the ability to put down payment on a home. And it's great. This level of generosity is pretty amazing, and I have to say, I don't know, man. It's news like this that makes me go, you know what? I think I'm a Swiftie now.
Are you ready? AFO Radio. Broadcasting live from One Utama. Check it out.
Speaking of Ariana, she's a little bit of hot soup right now. She recently announced a separation from her husband, Dalton Gomez, and less than a week later, she's spotted with Ethan Slater, who's known for playing, SpongeBob on the SpongeBob musical. So this is really interesting because, like, first, one thing, that theater kid energy is going strong with this relationship, but secondly, also, somebody pointed out on, I think, a Reddit thread or something like that. Basically, Ariana has a history of dating somebody and then moving on to her next lover in the least ethical way. Like, it's always like rumors of cheating and then she move on, and then rumors of cheating and then she move on. And she's repeated this pattern for long enough. And now she's going through a little bit of a PR crisis. And people are just telling her and Ethan Slater to slow down. Now, Ethan Slater, of course, her current new beau, also recently separated from his wife as a result of Ariana Grande. And I gotta say, when Ariana comes a knocking, you kind of gotta open the door, right?
Streaming live online, www.onafo.my.
And if you're like an iPhone fan, then you'd be very excited that the rumor mill is churning right now, and people are coming out and they're sharing little details on what the new iPhone's gonna look like. And word on the street is the iPhone 15 might be announced and be revealed on September 13th. And it's going to be really interesting. And the iPhone 15 Pro, I mean, rumored to have a couple of like interesting changes as well. They've got like an action button, which you can program to do a bunch of different stuff. But this biggest rumor, or the one that everybody's trying to figure out whether it's going to be happening or not, is word is this might be the year that iPhones finally switch to a USB-C port. And if you ask me, that's good, because I don't want to bring so many cables around. So if we all get standardized on USB-C, the world will be a better place.
Playing the hits you love.
Hey, I'm Ed Sheeran.
I'm Justin Bieber.
Hey, this is David Guetta. AFO Radio.
And over the past week, I managed to catch Oppenheimer. And if you haven't seen it yet, you really need to. This movie needs to be experienced in its full IMAX glory. And I gotta say, it's probably one of the best movies I've seen this year, if not in the past few years. And the one thing I gotta say about Oppenheimer is the acting was phenomenal, cinematography was amazing, the sound design was probably my favorite thing out of everything. But it's very interesting because the story that Oppenheimer plays out, I'm sure by now you've heard some of it. It's got to do with, J. Robert Oppenheimer and how he came up with building the atomic bomb and a little bit of the politics that are happening and kind of political stuff and military stuff going on in the background as well. What I have to say, though, as good as the movie was, and it's undeniably a good movie, as I was sitting there and I was watching it, I realized, man, this is a movie everybody needs to watch, but it is not an enjoyable ride as well, because it just felt real and it felt so true, and you realize that, oh man, is this how things are being done? This is so stressful. So you leave the cinema with a little bit of a diminished sense of hope in humanity, but as far as a movie is shot and made, it is amazing, and I honestly think it is one of Christopher Nolan's better movies, if not his feather in his cap as we speak. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. I think there's still some screenings in IMAX. I watched it on a Tuesday night at 10:45 p.m. The movie ended at 2:30, but the cinema was full. So hopefully you'll have a bit more of a prolonged run and you get your chance to check it out. All right?
Listen to us live.
I love it.
AFO Radio.
You are listening to Hang Out to Jeremy, brought to you by Dreamshop, the platform that allows you to pay with points as well as at 0% interest installment up to 60 months. Yeah, that's right, guys. Got a bit of a show sponsor this time around. And I want you to know that we have in our studios today a guest, a very special guest. We're talking to Juan Chow, the executive director of Didi Group, the distributor and importer for the largest motorcycle brands in Malaysia. Most notably for our conversation today, we're going to be digging into the Vespa, Royal Enfield, Aprilia, and Triumph. How are you doing, Juan? How are you doing?
Hi, everybody.
How are things with you, man? Tell us about yourself.
Well, first time on radio.
You know how
But Jeremy is trying to prep me up well.
You know how people say things like long time listener, first time caller kind of thing.
Well, hope time, first time lucky. Well, normally a biker.
Uh-huh.
All right. Like you say, it's live and around surrounding two wheels. All right. We are basically very much lifestyle motoring. Lifestyle motoring. We believe in lifestyle. Besides pushing the metal, it's about driving the lifestyle. You know, life is already very stressful. We just need to get out there, get to the open roads, feel the wind. And how do we do that, and how do we do that fun? So that's what we drive in mobility.
Oh, that's very, very cool stuff. So obviously there's motorcycles are this, every guy has fantasies of that open road that you're talking. I don't know a single guy that goes I don't ride a bike as well. But the idea of jumping on a bike, getting a cafe racer and going down a highway, it's very appealing. So when you're talking about the lifestyle, how would you describe the lifestyle?
Okay, besides getting from A to Z on the two wheels, it's about community, friends, all right, brotherhood, sisterhood, all right. So how do you go together? All right, so the brands that we carry gives you that essence of brotherhood, sisterhood, gathering. All right, so there's more than one reason to look forward to the day or to the weekends where you can gather, you can mix around, get like-mindedness, network, knowing people. So that's what we drive. All right, so it's not driving a transportation where you just go to work because I have to go to work or I have to go and buy a groceries. It's about something that you look forward to. All right, you look forward to. It's almost like people say your second wife or your second girlfriend. All right, your girlfriend. So this is something that you want to get into it, and getting into the open road gives you that feeling of freedom. All right, given the freedom. Today in today's life is about everything very boring. Everything is very boxed in. So we feel very boxed in. We feel very stressed. So how do we release this stress? All right, we can consider us as a hobby, owning our brands is a hobby that you want to be with every day. All right, and the people surrounding it. So that is what we drive at. So you don't only pay for getting you to a destination. Getting to the destination can be an MRT, can be a bus, but riding a Vespa, Aprilia, and a Royal Enfield Triumph gives you much, much more.
It's less about the destination, more about the journey. That kind of vibe we're talking about, right?
That's correct.
Oh man, very exciting stuff. Okay, so we're going to come back down. You mentioned the brands early on. You mentioned like Vespa, Royal Enfield, Aprilia, and Triumph, and we're going to be getting into the brands next, especially because you could be making your next purchase of your dream bike on dreamshop.com.my.
More hits throughout the day. This is AFO Radio.
AFO Radio.
You're hanging out with, well, Jeremy, brought to you by Dreamshop, the platform that allows you to pay with points as well as at 0% interest installment up to 60 months. And we're hanging out with Juan Chow, the executive director of Didi Group, in the studio today. And he is a man who truly understands that motorcycle life, that biker life, the sense of freedom, the wind in your hair, the bonds of brotherhood as you travel down that highway. Am I hitting the right notes here?
Right. Spot on.
Now, of course, we mentioned earlier, Didi Group is the distributor and importer of some of the largest motorcycle brands in Malaysia. That includes Vespa, Royal Enfield, Aprilia, and Triumph. Now, I'm generally very curious about these brands because motorcycles they come in many shapes, many forms, but they're all two wheels, right? But how would you separate and differentiate like the brands within your like pantheon of that you carry, like Vespa, Royal Enfield, Aprilia, Triumph? Like how would you decide what's the right kind of bike for this person?
I guess we are very fortunate in terms of able to be given the trust to carry the brands that we have today. Right from a model range of scooters, which would be generally in Vespas. They're very classic when it was developed. All right, so it's basically an easy to ride automatic scooter, but with a tinge of classic, with a tinge of iconic, where the shape has always been like this. All right, so you just basically get something that appreciates as it goes in time. All right?
Yeah.
So that's Vespa, and it's basically a daily city commute. All right, so from a product perspective, this is something that is real well with in many generations of Vespa.
And they're very cute, they're very beautiful, they're very attractive, very appealing, right? Very fun.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's something that people resonate to. Your father, during your father's generation to the current now generation, it doesn't change. It just evolves. It just evolves better, technologically wise, reliability wise, and so forth. So it actually goes with the current trend, and it can keep up with traffic. So that is most important. Vespas. Again, you can bring the Vespas outstation. It's not only a city. We brought them to Langkawi, right into Thailand, and so forth. So we do this community where depending on owners.
Right.
All right. So on the other perspective, you also have motorcycles, which are motorcycles. Right, from the lower CC right up to the higher CC. Motorcycles, just like cars, they would have different categories. Something you will have in an SUV, something that you will have a compact car, or a minivan. All right, so you have that also from the different range of motorcycles. You have the classic roadsters, which you can ride, like the Royal Enfields. All right, so you can ride classically. All right, so it's very iconic. It's like a World War II bike. We have a version like a World War II bike. So you can have that right to the icons of those kind of products. Like Triumph, you have the modern classics. All right, right to something adventurous. The adventure motorcycle, which will something like 4x4, most people will resonate with. So you have something, an adventure bike, which you can go off-road. You can transverse comfortability between interstates. All right, so this is something that you have, right to the touring models. Touring models are something like Harley-Davidson, which we carry. So you have the big baggers, which you can hear the music banging down the road. Besides just the exhaust, you can actually enjoy life. And in many of these categories, different products carry different things. And being a biker, some products we sometimes carry, some bikes say, I will see you there. Some says, let's enjoy the journey. Let's calculate the trees as we ride down the road.
Right.
So it really goes with different category of customers. And what we carry today is understanding each and individual of our customers and putting them into their comfort zone, all right, their community, and developing that community rightfully to what they like. All right, so again, there's a lot of tasks, but with my team, they hope to do it. All right, in a good way where we allow customers to enjoy. So when they buy the bikes, they not only buy and ride off the showrooms and see them in the after sales, but it's also to see them consistently. All right, to see them weekly, hopefully monthly or annually, where we gather, we have fun. So this is something that as a whole we translate our brands. So that's what we create a mobility lifestyle.
So like what you're saying is like when you get a bike, you're not just getting a mode of transportation. You're really just participating in something greater than yourself. You'll meet people. You'll know if you're the only person that you know of that wants to ride a bike, you get a bike, you will find more eventually because you are like almost like the gateway to this whole new world of biker lifestyle.
Correct. Like recently, we just had the Art of Speed. I think you were one of the radio stations.
Yes, AFO was part of it. Yes,
part of Art of Speed. And in the Art of Speed, we brought in the brands there, and in that category, we brought in individual brand community. So they rode with their own brands. They arrived at the Art of Speed. They had fun. So that was all about that type of excitement. Right? It's about that type of excitement. Recently, we also had the Malaysian Hawk Rally. Right, which basically transfers between PJ going down to Penang, Penang going down to Songkhla, Thailand, down to Terengganu, down to Johor, back to KL. So it was a whole total journey of 6 days.
That is crazy. That's a lot of riding, man.
Correct. But this riding is not only about. It didn't only had only the male riders. It also had the female riders. So the wives, and they were all following. So they were enjoying. So it's a travel family. You can call it a family brotherhood, sisterhood affair. So it's just basically going down, and each journey had games, had fun, had dinner, had parties. So it's not just about riding. It's about a total lifestyle experience. So that is what we drive recently with the Harley-Davidson. That's what we did. All right. So this is something that we do. Like recently coming up, we're going to go Remba Raid with Triumph motorcycles. We're going to go outdoor. We're going to go there to show our adventure bikes. All right. From the likes of Triumph, from the likes of Harley-Davidsons to Aprilias, we will have these adventure bikes all featured at the Remba Raid.
Wow, it's very, very exciting stuff. Very cool stuff.
AFO Radio.
I want to get into it, man,
Streaming live. Download the app from the App and Play Store now.
We're hanging out with Juan Chow, the executive director of Didi Group, the distributor and importer of the largest motorcycle brands in Malaysia. We talked about the Vespa, Royal Enfield, Aprilia, Triumph. And of course, these are brands you can actually buy on dreamshop.com.my with 0% interest. Swipe it with a credit card and have yourself a riding experience. Switch up the lifestyle. It's very exciting. Now, John, I was thinking about it. If I wanted to get a bike, like what are the things that I should be starting at? Because you've like so many brands, so many different types of bikes. Where do you begin? What's the first consideration a guy must make?
Okay, I guess in terms of it is understanding what you want. All right, understanding what you want. But of course, the most basic one is to come and feel, come and see, come and test.
Right.
All right. That's essentially the first step you need to do. Of course, digitally, you will research it. You will look at the YouTube. You will go into all the digital world to find out what's the information. But the next one is taking a step forward, making that move, looking at it, feeling it, all right, and getting to test it. All right, so that is essentially, I think, one of the most important. Most of us just remain talking, all right, so put an action to it, get yourself into it. Don't just say, I'm going to dream about it. Make it, call it an action, so I think that's one of the best moves.
Okay, very, very cool stuff to like try out the bike. So now when it comes to the kind of like things that people look into when they get their bikes, like what are some of the common like factors? Do people who like, is it always the bike that you like, the way it looks, or is it the way it rides? Is it like a sound? Like what's the common factor that people are really into when it comes to their bikes?
Okay, yeah, like you say, when you go into the bike, it's something that he has to connect with you. He has to talk to you. You have to have the feel. So each individual of the product has a different feel. All right, he has a different feel. He has a different perspective. This you can't get it on the internet. Right? So it's a very personal feel. You have to get onto it. Is the weight just right for you? Is the handling just nice? Does the sound, does the vibration of the bike give you that feeling? All right, so that is one thing that you will look at it. That's in terms of a product perspective. Don't just listen to hearsay. Feel it yourself. All right, so it's something that you will want there. Some bikes make you feel special. Right. Some bikes make you feel special, and it makes you feel the top of the world. So those are the feelings that you
sound like you're talking about like a relationship here, like
of course,
future husband and wife. Make you feel special, top of the world.
Correct. Well, it's all, like you said, going dating online and doing it actually is a far big difference.
Very, very cool stuff. Very, very nice. Now, out of the various like models and stuff that we were talking about that being offered on Dreamshop, like I'm sure you have a personal favorite. Like, what's your favorite? Like,
okay, I guess in terms of a daily commute, it would be a Vespa.
Daily commute.
Daily commute where you get to a destination. You know, the good part about it is that when you ride a Vespa, you can park in front of the cafe.
Right.
And the fellow won't assume you're a Grab rider, you know. So so you get privileged to park in front, all right, as a go, and it's to be seen, all right. So but besides it is nimble enough to move around town, is easy to park, is easy to move everywhere, all right. So but if it comes to transverse of the weekend, you want something bigger, all right, and you want to go up. Depending on the destination, depending on where the destination is. If you're going up Genting, you want something that is you can take corners with. Right. All right. If you want to go across the border to Thailand, you want something that is a larger tank that gives you that ride and doesn't break your back. So it depends very widely on the usage. All right. So like I said, every bike is something to be had.
Right.
It's like a man, we will never be enough for one.
Also, I noticed you're very diplomatic with your answer. I noticed how you avoided picking just one. Very clever, Yuan. All right.
Coming to you hot on Shock. This is AFO Radio.
As we have come to realize, the spiritual man of the lifestyle of motorcycles. He's got a very deep philosophy when it comes to it. So, Juan, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
Glad.
And if people wanted to get their bikes, how would they go and get it? Like, what's the process? What is the way you would tell them? What's the process like for you?
Okay, the conventional way would be like what you have. You like something you like. After you see it, you test it. You normally have two options. One is actually a cash purchase upfront, or loan. All right, which is called hire purchase. All right, so you take a hire purchase and you pay it over a duration or period. Now we have the option of a third option. This option is basically we can call it swipe and go or click and go. Right? Where we are privileged to work with Dreamshop, where you can now get your dream bike at a much lower cost. All right, you just basically swipe the whole purchase in the cart. All right, just enter, swipe the whole purchase in the cart, and pay over a period of 60 months, interest free. All right, so that is as good as ownership. All right, so basically, the solutions are there in terms of you owning your dream bike. All right, those are the three options. All right, it's not limited to any of those options. You can actually mix and match, but like I said, those are the options available today, and we are very privileged in Malaysia to have this type of options available.
Very, very nice stuff. Now, of course, as Juan said earlier on, if you want to find the perfect bike for you, the most important thing is to test it out first. Now, where can they go and try out the bikes?
Okay, we have dealerships nationwide, so you need to get into our websites, individual websites or our social media to get in connected with those the brands that you want to look at. You know, be it Vespa, Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Triumph, Royal Enfield, or in this way Harley-Davidson. So you just need to go there and like you say, find essentially what you want. All right, most important is find what you want, not what people want you, but what you want. So after that, take that part there, take your credit card out, and get it onto the road.
Absolutely right. Just like what Yuan said earlier, you got to take some action, right? That's
correct.
That's the way. Thanks so much for joining us today, man. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, Jeremy.
And once again, this show is brought to you by Dreamshop, the platform that allows you to pay with points as well as 0% interest installment up to 60 months. Take it easy. We'll be back again next week with more good stuff.
On air everywhere.
Are you ready?
And now also on Shock and Get Play.
And Get Play.
AFO Radio.